So I want to start by asking you a question. Did you hear what Christine just read? Or maybe a better way to ask that is, did you get what Christine just read? I don't know about you, Doug, I'm glad to see you shaking your head, because you know what? I've been shaking my head for this entire week. I really have. And before I dive into sort of where my focus eventually landed, I just want to kind of check with all of you. So what did you hear in that story that Christine just read? And really it's a story that begins with a parable, and then there are a couple of teachings that are kind of like smushed on. That's biblical language. Smushed on, and then it ends with the pithy line that we've all heard. But what did you hear in what Christine just read that left you sort of scratching your head? Just shout it out. What did you hear? What were things that were odd or puzzling or nonsensical?
Encouraging dishonesty.
What's that?
It's encouraging dishonesty.
It seemed like it was encouraging dishonesty, right? Like the master or the rich man, whatever you want to call him, was commending his dishonest manager, and then it seems like Jesus even is getting on with that as well, right? Someone up there, I heard something. Sorry. Was there something else?
It reminds me of that expression, a little will show what a lot will.
This expression that I've heard from my wife a number of times, a little will show what a lot will be. And there is a little bit of that in there, right? I mean, it's just an odd sequence of events. The parable starts with this manager getting called to task because he has squandered the rich man's properties, or at least so it seems. And so the manager, thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to be out on the streets. And I love this sort of the internal dialogue that Jesus gives us with this parable, which is, so I'm too weak to dig and I'm ashamed to beg. Like, oh, okay, you've got standards, clearly. And he comes up with a scheme, right? He comes up with a scheme to curry favor with his master's debtors. He goes to them and he cuts their debt in half. He juggles with the accounting, so to speak. And then the rich man says, wow, well done you shrewd guy. Wait a second, he just cheated him out of money, and he's like, attaboy, well done you. And he gets his job. And then the whole part about Jesus. I mean, is he Jesus really going, so you see what he did? Yeah, have at it, go like that. What? For sure, it's crazy. And let me tell you, we're in good company that is scratching our heads over this one. So as I read one commentary, one article after another this week, one after another said things like, and I'm not making this up, well, this parable has stumped preachers for generations. Or this is considered, Luke 16 is considered the exegetical mountain for all preachers. And I'm like, great. Should have had Dante preach on this one. But I know. I love it. His default is, I love that. But then I did actually come across an article that helped sharpen my focus and tune my ear just a little bit. And it did so by reminding me of the context of this parable. That is to say, it reminded me of the parable that Luke's audience would have read or heard right before this one. So if you go back to chapter 15 of Luke, the parable that immediately precedes this one is the parable of the prodigal son. And Luke's audience would have heard the same word used across these two parables. That is to say, that what gets the prodigal son in trouble is that he takes his inheritance that he's been gifted by his dad, and he squanders it all. That's the word. Squanders it all on dissolute living. I've always wanted to know what that's actually. And then today, as we hear that the rich man or the master is calling his manager into account, it is because the manager has squandered what's been given to him. And so all the head scratching that we might do about the different elements of this, there is one thing that I think is very, very clear, and that is that when we squander what has been given to us, it gets us in trouble. When we squander what has been given to us, it gets us in trouble. And that might seem like a simple statement, and in a way it is, but I think there are really two parts to that need to be unpacked a little bit, and actually starting with the second part first. How often do we consider what has been gifted to us? You know, I don't know about you, but too often I think I go around and thinking like, well, I earned this. Or sometimes I catch myself with this posture of, well, I'm entitled to this. But really, so much of what we enjoy are those things that have been gifted to us. I think that one of the challenges, one of the nudges, one of the callings for us as people of faith, as so-called Christians, is to spend time in a posture of gratitude, really understanding, really giving thanks for those things that have been gifted to us by our loving God, for those things that have been entrusted to us for our own care. It starts there. And it's so much more than what we might first imagine, right? And if we can imagine that it's something that's been gifted to us, then it changes how we care for it, doesn't it? So I want to invite you to just take a moment of sort of personal inventory and think about your life. And think about what have been the things that have been gifted to you, that have been entrusted to you, whether they be material or personal, that are the joys of your life. What are they? There are a myriad of things. They might be the gift of a spouse, a loving partner. They might be the gift of shared life with a sister. They might be the gift of children. The gift of voice, a talent to be able to sing and make glorious music. They might be the gift of a beloved dog, or the gift of a dear friend, or a brother, or a sister. Think about the gifts that have been entrusted to you, that make up the fullness of your life. And then ask yourself, so what kind of steward am I of those gifts? Are there times when I squander them, like this manager, or like the prodigal son? I'm sure not with dissolute living or anything. You know, I was at a field hockey game this week at Rocky Hill, and there was a father there on the sideline watching his daughter playing field hockey, only he had his face in his cell phone for 10 minutes. Do you squander that time with your children? Do you spend an extra hour or two at work and squander the opportunity to have a family meal? Do you take for granted the beauty of these spectacular September mornings? Do you use your gifts, your talents, in a way that isn't just for your own pleasure, but for the betterment of community? Do you squander a friendship because you harbor resentment and can't get over yourself? Do you squander riches that surely you've earned, but do you squander them on material goods that come and go? Or even worse, do you squander them by not using them at all? Whatever this crazy gospel is about, I think at the very least it calls us to a bit of reckoning and to a bit of reflection and to making sure, A, that we know the gifts that have been given to us, and B, making sure that we care for them well. I was reminded of that on Friday. I was watching the news, and let me just say right now, this is not in any way a political endorsement, but Pete Buttigieg was being interviewed. By the way, he's an Episcopalian. Okay, anyhow. Not a political endorsement. But they were talking to him about the climate strike that happened around the globe. Interestingly enough, mostly with the generations that are coming behind us. We need to pay attention to that. He was talking about the climate strike, and he said, you know, as a person of faith, I have to consider the fact that our sacred text in Genesis, we are entrusted with care for this globe. We are given over sort of the care for the land and the air and the waters and the animals. And as a person of faith, I need to make sure that I'm honoring that task. Or to say another way, as a person of faith, we need to make sure that we're not squandering that gift. So I'm glad that this reading is not coming up again for another 3 years. Maybe I'll have it figured out by then. But I'm also grateful for that reading that reminded me to look back one parable earlier and that gave me the focus of that notion of squandering. And it also sort of nudged me to read backwards a little bit even more. And I realized that the parable we hear today is the fourth and final parable of a series of parables that Jesus is telling these tax collectors and sinners and Pharisees that have come near. And if you look at those four parables, at first glance, they seem kind of random and unrelated. There's a parable about a sheep, about a coin, about a son, and about a manager. But then you read them a little bit more carefully, and what comes into focus is that in all of those parables, there is lost, and then there is found. The sheep has been lost, the coin has been lost, the son has been lost, even the manager has been lost, has surely lost his way. And at the end of the parables, they all get to where they belong. Now, I don't know about you, but for this one occasionally lost Christian, that feels like good news. It moves me to want to say, thanks be to God.